past the post together. What a great attitude this colt has got. Alan Kerr follows up his classic trial win at Sandown in the King Edward VII Stakes.
Right everyone, welcome back. Day 4 now, so we're very much in the thick of things. We're either all out of pocket or hopefully everyone's doing well. That will, soon to be seen. But anyway, day 4, going to get right underway, and we are starting with the Commonwealth Cup. 6 furlongs. Tough one for me on this one, if truth be told. I'm going to go with a bit of a Jamie Brownlow-esque type stab at this with a big each way price, or a reasonable each way price, in Hugo Palmer's 16-1 shot Flaming Rib. Second, a couple of weeks back at Haydock, which was a very impressive run considering tried to make all, and we know how difficult that is. It takes a very special type to be able to make all in any type of race. So to stay on strong to finish second, great race in all due respect. I believe comes second to El Caballo. El Caballo, who's also in the Commonwealth Cup at 6s, so at the topper end of the betting. As I say, tried to make all, but showed a lot of guts to stay on strong near the end, even though seemed to get quite swamped by the oncoming field. 2 lengths ahead of Go Bears Go, who also runs in the Commonwealth Cup. Fingers crossed for King's Lynn, who I also have decided to have a little tip up at earlier in the week, because Flaming Rib actually beat King's Lynn at the beginning of May, I think it was, at Chester by a good two lengths. A very impressive run, very solid run, a good 2-length winner. So again, depending on if that form can be franked, depending on King's Lynn, and depending on what sort of Flaming Rib turns up and what sort of run, more importantly, considering this will predominantly be a large field, so placement is key. As long as he can get the run of the race, I do think at 16-1 will be a fantastic each way shout. So for me, I'm going to start the day off with Flaming Rib for Hugo Palmer at 16-1 in the Commonwealth Cup. Next up, Coronation Stakes, 7 furlong. For me, this one was a pretty obvious one. I'm going to go for the obvious horse in the race, which is Homeless Song, but I think that's for a reason. Very impressive winner of the 1,000 Irish Guineas, beating Tuesday, who's we've now seen gone on and franked that form by winning over here at Epsom, beating Emily Upjohn. Again, ignoring the start, still it goes down as a win. So that form is franked. Very impressive winner over in Ireland. I just would find it very difficult for anything to lay a glove to this horse. If anything, it will be taking Baid out of it. Something over evens for a nap of the week would be Homeless Song for me. Again, you've got Inspiral in there who makes an obvious appeal, unbeaten in 4 runs. The only issue is it goes into that with no real prep run since October. I believe it was on the back end of October. So that's obviously going to be, for someone like me, I look at that as not as a concern, but just doesn't go into the race with any sort of momentum is the word I'm looking for. Whereas you look at what Homeless Songs has done, and what Tuesday then went and done. It's what I would look for in a horse, to be honest with you. So again, Cachet in there, who you cannot discredit. Again, winner of the English 1,000 Guineas, and again beating Tuesday, who then we've seen has gone on to do what Tuesday's gone on to do. So that form can't be argued neither. But for me, the way Homeless Songs kicks on, if that is to be repeated over here in the Coronation Stakes, I would find it very hard pushed to see much laying a twig to it, to be honest with you. Again, more than likely, this will come back on me and prove that what I've just spoke about was probably nonsense. But going on what that is seen, and what you've all seen from the racing beforehand, and what that horse has done, and subsequent seconds of that race and thirds, be difficult to back against it. So yeah, Homeless Songs for Dermot Weld. 5-4 currently trading out at the moment. Again, when the decks are out, depending who stays and who doesn't, I can't see it being much bigger. There might be a drift on the day with everyone else backing something else to take it on, but other than that, I think he'll go off a very strong and worthy favourite for the Coronation Stakes on that one. Third and final one, day 4. I'm gonna, stick with the basis of, if it isn't broke, don't fix it, with Westover for Ralph Beckett. Now, was my each way tip for the Derby and ran on a very convincing third. Now, you're talking a couple of strides further on, this is an easy second. Wasn't catching Sir Michael Stout's winner, granted, but the run of the race didn't seem to go for him. But when there was a break in the pack and he was able to get out, made some seriously strong headway in a very short space. Caught up with subsequent second Who Ya Me, or whatever that was, 200 to 1 was, that I mentioned also in the video. So TriCast slipped me by, which was quite frustrating. But for me, I don't see any reason why that won't change my opinions of Westover. If anything, enhances it. 6 to 1 is going to go off out of the King Edward Stakes, the 1 mile 4. Again, massive eye catcher in that race. And going off what beat it, do I see much in the way of competition in this race? No. A lot of unknown entities from my point of view in that race, so I may have missed something. I'm sure people will let me know, but from what I've seen and from what I am going to go with, I'm going to stick with Westover. 6 to 1. I'm hoping this time they will get the run of the race and will get a deserved win under his belt. So yep, that's me for day 4, and I will see you next time for the last day of Royal Ascot. Hope everyone's doing well. Speak soon. Bye.
Hello, and it's day 4. G'day, with a beer. Hope you like my Aussie impression. Anyway, day 4, Friday, for the Royal Ascot, and we're looking for the 305 Commonwealth Cup Group 1 6 furlongs. I've gone for 2, so I'm going to do a selection, and I'm going to do a Jamie's Brucey bonus coming up soon. So just hopefully you'll have a little look and see what you think. My first one, looking at the betting at 6 to 1, I'm going to do that each way, and this horse is a 6-timer, which is amazing feat for this horse, winning the Spring Cup Stakes and Lingfield and the All-Weather Championship for 3-year-olds at Newcastle. And that horse is El Caballo, trained by Carl Burke. Both he's won on the All-Weather with the Newcastle and Lingfield. But his other tough assignment was winning the Sandy Lane Stakes at Haydock, beating Sean's selection, as he said on his selections on this video. Did that very well. I would like to see him in the Coronation Stakes if possible, and I would like to see it if he was held up or in mid division in a group, and then push on to the front to win his race, because he's a very tough horse to beat, I believe. And I think you need this to be tough for this race as well, to get this distance for the Commonwealth Cup. And also with this trainer Carl Burke, he has won the Commonwealth Cup, and that was with Quiet Reflection, and we all know what she done also in the sales as well. So that's my selection for the Commonwealth Cup. My Jamie's Brucey bonus, though, is another horse in the same race in the Commonwealth Cup. Looking in the betting, and he's at 12 to 1, and I'll do that for an each way selection as well. And that horse is Twilight Jet, trained by Marco O'Callaghan. I can, looking at other previews and other things, I can see where Kevin Blake is coming from for this horse. He's won the Goffs Lacking Stakes at Naas very convincingly against New York City, I thought, and it was quite impressive the way he pulled away from the second and the third away from them, and he won by 3 lengths at Naas, even though it was a 5 furlong race. I think it was 110 yards as well, the important 110 yards. I think he will cope with the stiffness of the Ascot track for 6 furlongs, and also stepping up in trip, because I know he's run twice at 6 furlongs as a 2-year-old, but now he's a 3-year-old. He must have his reappearance at the Lacking Stakes. He must have strengthened up and grown into his frame, and he looks like a good, very good sprinter. So for my main selection is El Caballo for each way, and my Jamie's Brucey bonus is the Twilight Jet in the Coronation Cup 6 furlongs. The next race, the 420, the Coronation Stakes, Group 1, 7 furlongs, and the very important 213 yards. And I'm looking at the betting at 6-1 each way, and the horse I'm looking at is Cachet, because I've been following Cachet and she's done very well. Trained by George Bowie, very good trainer, as we all know, a very young trainer, winning the 1,000 Guineas, and it was great to be there, even beside George's family and all the friends, and I caught all the reactions from that race. I will tweet that up again on my account, or even on Money Rider's account. But that was a great experience, seeing all them jumping up and down, and she'd done that very good, winning the 1,000 Guineas at Newmarket. And I thought she did that well, and she got there just in the nick of time though, by winning by a neck, on good to firm. But then then she ran in the French Guineas, and I thought that was on softer conditions, but I thought she fought out really bravely for that race. Could have got kicked on a little bit more, bit backwards, back turning in from the home straight. Could have pushed her on a little bit more aggressively, but she's back on ground, which is very positive, because Ascot at the moment, I'm hoping it'll be good to firm, good in places, or good to firm in places, whatever conditions it is. I think that's a positive for her, and I'm hoping that James Doyle will ride her again. She knows the horse. Obviously he's won her in the Guineas at Newmarket, and rode really well, despite finishing second in the French Guineas. But also, I'm hoping for more success for this trainer, because I think he'll be a very successful trainer in years to come. George Bowie, he's a fantastic bloke, nice bloke to talk to, down to earth and everything. And I'm hoping for a big success for this trainer, and also success for the syndicate owners for Cachet with the Highclere Thoroughbred syndicate organisation. So that's my selection for the 6-1 each way, Cachet for the Coronation Stakes Group 1, 7 furlongs and 213 yards. The third and final selection for Friday's meeting is the 5:35 King Edward VIII Stakes Group 2, 1 mile 3 furlongs and 213 important yards. Remember, it's very important because of the stiff climb. And for my selection is Westover, trained by Ralph Beckett. Looking at the betting, he's second favourite at the moment at 4-1, so I'm looking at for a win bet for him. Finished third in the Epsom Derby. The openings wasn't there, just as in some of the openings were not there at the right place at the right time, so to speak. I think the jockey was beating himself up. He shouldn't have done. I mean, the winner was away and gone already. Desert Crown, and he won that race. Could he, if the gaps would have been, could have opened up? Could he be a lot closer? We're not sure, but I thought that was a great run by Westover, finishing third in the Derby. But this race, I think there should be justice for this for him, for Westover. I think he should win this. I think the form will be good for him. He's got very good form behind him. I think he will cope the conventional track instead of the camber and all the little bit of the undulations. That this is a stiff climb in the home straight where they've got a little slight incline. But I'm hoping he will win Westover, and he's my selection for me for the King George VIII Stakes, and that is Westover.
Well, here we go again. Day 4 selections from me. We start with the Commonwealth Cup, as the boys have said. A bit of a tricky one again. You can see Perfect Power is a good favourite. Has won Group 1 level. I'm not going for the favourite. I'm not going for a massive outsider either. I'm going to go for the second favourite, El Caballo, trained by Cole Burke. He's banging form, has won 5 out of 5. Although 4 of them have been on the all-weather, its last run was on the turf. Haydock did get a win there, and has also won prior to that early in its career starting out. It hasn't won a Group 1 yet, so obviously might not make the step up, but it's certainly worth a chance. Worth taking the favourite on at 5-1. So yeah, I'm going to go for El Caballo, trained by Cole Burke in the Commonwealth Cup. So at 5-1, just worth a stab, taking on the favourite. Okay, moving on then to the Coronation Stakes. I'm going to go with a US Raider again, as I did in the previous videos. Going for Spenderella at 12-1. Nice price. Buick looks like to have picked up the ride according to the websites we're looking at. 3 wins from 3 over in the US at the moment, all on 8 furlongs around the 1 mile mark. Hopefully the drop to 7 furlongs won't be a big problem. Her sire did win 5 times between 7 furlongs and a mile, so that bodes well for it. You've obviously got Inspiral for the Godsons, Sean's pick, Homeless Songs, who ties in with Cachet for form and Tuesday. But at 12-1, could be worth a punt. We don't know obviously how well it'll travel over, whether it'll take to that, whether it'll be too much. But Buick's a plus. 12-1's a nice price. And yeah, could well snatch this one from under our noses, as to say. So for the Coronation Stakes, Spenderella 12-1, US Raider there for me. Moving on then to the King Edwards, a difficult one to sort through. You got Who Ya Mail, that was favourite, after outrunning them massive odds against Desert Crown in the Derby, coming second, so rightly so. Changing of the Guard, one that Mark's picked out in the past, was second favourite now, was 5th that day. I liked Nihani in the Blue Silks for Godolphin, at a big price in that race at 25-1, but was a little bit disappointing. Buick seems to have jumped ship to Ottoman Fleet this time, so there's a bit of a tell there, I guess. But I'll take a chance again on another bit of an outsider. Roger Varian trained Eldorado. He's won 2 out of 2 on the turf, so you can't exactly argue with that. A bit of an unknown. They were around the 1 mile on the turf and the 1 mile 2 on the all-weather. So there's not a lot to go on. But as I say, you can only go out and win your races, and that's exactly what he's done so far. It's out of Dubai, and the damn sire was Sear Stars, so there's enough pedigree there to say it can, win at the top level. So we'll have to wait and see. But there's certainly enough to like about it. As I say, it doesn't have as much form in the book as some of the others. So you can see why Sean's gone for who Sean's gone for. You can see why Who Ya Mail is a favourite. Obviously performing, fantastically well behind Desert Crown in the Derby. But I'm not one to pick favourites generally. I always try to look for a slightly bigger price. I don't really have a lot of luck on favourites, in all honesty. I normally get them on the bad day at the office. But Eldorado, looks a decent horse for a nice price. So I'll go with that. To be honest, yeah, I just think that an unknown, but could be worth a punt. So there's my selections for day 4. I'm not one to elaborate hugely, as the lads, some of them do, but yeah, there's my picks, and yeah, hopefully I found a winner.
She's digging deep. Campanelli and Dragon Symbol. They pass the post together. What a great attitude this colt has got. Alan Kerr follows up his classic trial win at Sandown in the King Edward VII Stakes.